Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to build a life most people only dream about, you must first do what most people won't. The path to greatness is not lined with ease, comfort, or shortcuts. It's paved with difficulty. It demands effort, but here's the truth. The hard road is the path that builds the person strong enough to stay at the top. Ease is the enemy of progress because it seduces us into comfort and robs us of growth. The human mind is naturally drawn to what feels good in the moment, to rest instead of effort, distraction instead of focus, indulgence instead of discipline. But comfort has never built greatness. No mountain was climbed from a soft couch, no masterpiece painted with idle hands, and no legacy forged in a life of ease. Progress demands struggle, because it's in the struggle that we are shaped. Muscles grow when they are pushed to their limits. The same is true of our character, our skills, our resolve. When we avoid the hard things, we remain weak. We may feel safe, but it's a dangerous kind of safety, one that slowly takes away our power to change, to lead, and to overcome. The illusion of ease is perhaps one of the most damaging forces in modern life. We are surrounded by tools that make everything quicker, smoother, and simpler. And while technology certainly has its benefits, it also nurtures the habit of impatience. We begin to expect results without the process. We want transformation without discipline, success without sacrifice, confidence without confrontation. But real progress does not work that way. You cannot become exceptional by avoiding difficulty. In fact, the avoidance of difficulty is what guarantees mediocrity. When you embrace ease as your way of life, you silently agree to stay where you are. You stop climbing, stop evolving, and start decaying. Ease whispers to you that you've earned a break, but what it really does is steal your potential in the name of rest. Every person who has ever done something remarkable has walked through pain, rejection, failure, repetition, and doubt. They faced mornings they didn't want to wake up, tasks they didn't want to complete, and days when quitting seemed more logical than continuing, but they kept going. Why? Because they understood that every difficult step forward is better than 1,000 easy steps sideways. Growth happens in motion, and motion fueled by purpose often feels like a grind. But that grind builds you. It sculpts your mindset. It hardens your discipline. It makes you trustworthy in the face of responsibility. Ease, on the other hand, makes you soft, and in a world that demands strength, mental, emotional, physical, softness is a liability. There's a hidden cost to a comfortable life. You don't notice it immediately, but over time it becomes obvious. Opportunities start slipping by. Your confidence shrinks. Your standards lower. Your days blur into each other, and before long, you start to wonder where all your potential went. It didn't disappear, it was exchanged, day by day, for convenience. Ease is comfortable in the moment, but crippling in the long term. Progress, real progress, comes from the challenge, from doing what is hard, from choosing to rise even when you could sit down, from choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, from choosing growth over comfort. Because when you truly want to grow, you stop looking for what's easy and start doing what's necessary. Discipline is the foundation of unstoppable character because it is the quiet force that holds everything together when motivation fades and emotions waver. It is not flashy or loud. It doesn't shout for attention or seek approval. It works in the background, brick by brick, building the structure of a strong life. Without discipline, talent is wasted. Without discipline, vision fades. Without discipline, even the most gifted individuals fall short of their potential. It is the ability to act according to values, not moods. To keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. To stick to the plan, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. An unstoppable character is not built overnight. It is shaped over time by thousands of small, unseen decisions. It is waking up early when the bed feels too comfortable. It is putting in the extra hour when everyone else has clocked out. It is choosing focus over distraction, commitment over comfort, effort over excuses. Discipline trains the mind to lead the body. It sharpens thought, strengthens resolve, and creates consistency. And it's this consistency, not bursts of brilliance, that ultimately defines who you become, because anyone can be great for a day, but it's discipline that allows you to be excellent for a lifetime. In the world we live in, distractions are everywhere and temptations are constant. Without discipline, it's easy to drift, to waste time, to react emotionally, to break your own standards. But with discipline, you don't just survive the chaos, you rise above it. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't wait for inspiration. You operate by principles, not impulses. That's what makes a person unstoppable, not their energy level, not their circumstances, not their natural gifts, but their ability to keep moving forward, rain or shine, success or setback, applause or silence. Every time you show up when it's hard, every time you push through when you're tired, every time you hold your ground when it would be easier to let go, you're building something permanent within yourself. And this internal strength cannot be taken from you. It is forged through repetition and sacrifice. And while others may look for shortcuts or chase comfort, the disciplined individual accepts the price because they understand that the cost of discipline is far less than the price of regret. The truth is, we all want to be proud of who we are. We all want to trust ourselves, but trust is earned, and we earn it by keeping promises to ourselves, by doing what we said we do long after the feeling in which we said it has faded. That is discipline, and discipline is what transforms goals into results, dreams into reality, and ordinary people into unstoppable forces. It doesn't make things easier, it makes you stronger. Because the strongest people are not those who always feel like doing it. They're the ones who do it anyway. Would you like a motivational real version or a voiceover script adaptation of this message? Success is not convenient because it demands that you do what is uncomfortable, unpopular, and often invisible. It doesn't come when you're ready or when the timing feels perfect. It shows up only after you've made the decision to show up consistently, especially on the days you'd rather quit. Convenience is the lie the world sells to keep you small, to keep you looking for hacks, tricks, and shortcuts. But there is no shortcut to strength, no hack for hunger, no trick that replaces time, sweat, and relentless focus. Success will never arrive on your terms. It demands that you rise to its level. It calls you higher, not easier. If success were convenient, everyone would have it. But the truth is, very few are willing to do what it takes. Not because it's impossible, but because it's inconvenient. It interrupts your comfort, challenges your habits, and forces you to stretch. It asks you to wake up earlier, work longer, study harder, and show up with excellence when nobody is clapping. And that's exactly why it matters, because what comes easy usually leaves just as easily. Convenience builds comfort, not capability, and only capability can carry the weight of true success. People often say they want to be successful, but when the cost appears, early mornings, late nights, missed parties, failed attempts, lonely grind, they begin to hesitate. They start looking for a way to succeed without sacrifice. But that path doesn't exist. Success is always purchased with discomfort. It demands that you trade your temporary ease for permanent elevation. It doesn't care how you feel. It responds only to what you do. That's the currency, that's the cost, and that's why most people settle. Not because they can't, but because they won't. Convenience will always whisper in your ear, you can do it later. It's not the right time. You deserve a break. But success never whispers. It knocks loud and clear, but only once in a while. And if you're not disciplined enough to open the door, it passes you by. There is no such thing as convenient greatness. Every great achievement comes with a messy backstory. Early failures, emotional setbacks, financial strain, physical fatigue, and countless moments of doubt. But the difference is always the same. Those who succeeded kept going, not because it was convenient, but because it was worth it. To become someone capable of handling success, you must first become someone willing to chase it through inconvenience. That means doing the work without waiting for perfect conditions. That means being loyal to your goals even when life tests your patience. It means being so committed to growth that you're willing to let go of anything. Habits, people, comforts, that keep you average, because success doesn't adjust to your comfort zone. It challenges you to rise above it. It invites you to leave behind what's easy and step into what's earned. And in doing so, you don't just achieve something great. You become someone great. Want a social media caption or short-form video script version of this message for your motivational content? Hard choices lead to an easier life. Easy choices lead to a harder one. This truth doesn't sound glamorous, but it explains everything about why some people thrive while others struggle. Every decision we make either builds us or breaks us over time. The hard choices are the ones that require sacrifice now for a better tomorrow. Waking up early to train, staying disciplined when it's easier to give in, saying no to distractions, choosing growth over comfort, committing to your long-term goals instead of your short-term feelings. These choices are not fun in the moment. They stretch you, test you, and sometimes isolate you, but they pay you back with freedom, confidence, strength, and results. And over time, they create a life that works. Easy choices, on the other hand, feel good right now. They offer relief, comfort, and escape. It's easy to sleep in, easy to scroll for hours, easy to quit when things get tough, easy to spend instead of save, to complain instead of solve, to put things off until later. But those easy choices pile up, and what they create is pressure, regret, chaos, and lost time. You may not feel the weight today, but it shows up tomorrow. Life becomes harder because the problems you refuse to deal with grow bigger. The discipline you avoided turns into anxiety. The comfort you chose becomes the prison you live in. Easy choices rob you slowly and quietly until you wake up overwhelmed, behind, and stuck. The difference between a fulfilled life and a frustrating one is often found in those small daily decisions. Hard choices are rarely urgent, but they're always important. They build something beneath the surface: a stronger mind, a better body, a clearer purpose, a deeper character. Each time you choose what's difficult but right, you reinforce your ability to lead your own life rather than be led by your emotions. You don't just get stronger. You become trustworthy to yourself. You learn to keep promises. You learn that pain passes, but pride stays, and that self-respect is earned, not given. There's no shortcut to a life of meaning. The work must be done, and the price must be paid. But when you consistently choose the harder path, the workout instead of the excuse, the study instead of the scroll, the conversation instead of silence, the challenge instead of the comfort, you start to create momentum. And that momentum turns into a lifestyle. What used to be hard becomes normal. What once felt overwhelming becomes your new standard. And that's how the hard choices you once feared begin to give you a life that feels lighter, freer, and more in your control. A hard life doesn't come from hard work. It comes from avoiding the work that matters. And an easy life isn't built on convenience. It's built on the courage to face what's difficult before it becomes destructive. So when the moment of decision comes, choose what challenges you, not what indulges you. That's the real path to a life of peace, strength, and power. Let me know if you want this form added into a motivational script or used in a caption or carousel post for social media. Mental toughness is earned, not given. It isn't something you're born with, and it doesn't come from reading a book or repeating a mantra. It's built through experience, through pressure, adversity, discipline, and persistence. Every time you choose to keep going when quitting would be easier, every time you push past fear, discomfort, fatigue, or failure, you earn another layer of strength. Mental toughness is a currency, and it's only acquired through effort. It comes from doing hard things again and again, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching, and especially when it seems like progress isn't happening. That's when the real foundation is being laid. The truth is, life will test you. It will throw things at you that you didn't see coming. People will let you down. Plans will fall apart. Motivation will run dry. In those moments, it's not talent or intelligence that keeps you moving. It's grit. It's the quiet inner voice that says, keep going. Even when your body is tired, your emotions are low, and the road ahead looks long. That voice doesn't show up on its own. You train it. You sharpen it through repetition. You condition it every time you push through resistance instead of backing down. That's why some people seem unshakable, not because they're immune to pain or fear, but because they've learned to stay focused and grounded in the midst of it. Mental toughness is not loud or flashy. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's about doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's about showing up for yourself again and again until showing up becomes who you are. Toughness is forged in the decision to endure when everything in you wants to retreat. It's earned in silence, in solitude, in struggle. It's built in the early mornings when you want to sleep, in the late nights when you want to quit, in the moments of failure when you choose to stand back up. That is where real toughness is born, not in victory, but in the process that leads to it. The stronger your mind, the more capable you become of handling stress, setbacks, pressure, and unpredictability. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger, and that strength allows you to operate at a higher level, to stay calm in chaos, to maintain focus under fire. People will look at you and wonder how you do it. They'll think you have some kind of advantage, but what they won't see are the hours you invested, the pain you endured, and the doubts you overcame to earn that calm, that focus, that resilience. You didn't wish for it. You worked for it. You cannot buy mental toughness. You cannot borrow it. It is a personal process. It's your reward for showing up when things are hard and choosing growth over excuses. And the beauty of it is that once you earn it, it's yours. It doesn't fade when others criticize you. It doesn't disappear when plans fail. It stays with you because it was built by you through sweat, patience, and relentless effort. Want this turned into a YouTube voiceover script or an Instagram carousel post for your motivational content? The reward for doing what is hard is becoming what is rare. In a world where the majority choose comfort, shortcuts, and instant gratification, those who willingly step into difficulty separate themselves without even trying to compete. They rise simply by refusing to sink. Doing what is hard doesn't just produce external results. It reshapes you internally. It builds a kind of person the world doesn't see often anymore. Someone disciplined, focused, consistent, and committed. And because so few are willing to endure the grind, the sacrifice, the discomfort, the mental challenge, those who do naturally stand out, not because they're chasing recognition, but because excellence is unmistakable. Most people say they want to be great, but what they really want is to feel great without paying the price. They want the result without the process. They want the reward without the risk. But life doesn't work that way. The uncomfortable truth is this: what is rare must be earned by doing what is uncommon. That means choosing effort over excuses, sacrifice over pleasure, and discipline over impulse. It means doing the reps, showing up tired, saying no to distractions, and living with higher standards even when no one is watching. The ones who commit to this path don't just accomplish more, they become more. They build something within themselves that can't be faked or fast tracked. When you do what is hard, you tap into a different level of potential. You discover reserves of strength, resilience, creativity, and clarity that remain hidden when life is easy. Difficulty acts like a filter. It separates the casual from the committed, the dreamers from the doers, and the talkers from the transformers. And once you cross through that filter, the world looks different. Challenges stop being threats and start becoming invitations. Pressure doesn't break you, it reveals you. Every difficult thing you overcome becomes a brick in the foundation of a rare kind of life. A life defined not by how comfortable it is, but by how powerful, how intentional, and how deeply fulfilling it becomes. People might not understand your choices. They'll wonder why you train so hard, why you push so far, why you sacrifice when everyone else is relaxing. But they won't question the results. They'll see the clarity in your decisions, the strength in your presence, the conviction in your actions, and they'll know, whether they admit it or not, that you've become something rare. Not because you were lucky or special or born with an edge, but because you chose what was hard when it would have been easier to quit. The rare ones, those who do what is hard, don't live in reaction. They live by design. They are the few who stay when others run, who rise when others fold, who persist when others break. They are the leaders, the creators, the warriors of purpose, not by accident, but by repeated decision. And that decision, to step into what is hard again and again, becomes the very thing that transforms them into what the world rarely sees, but deeply respects. Would you like to adapt this into a motivational video script or a voiceover reel to post online?